Bob, we've got a problem. These rockets aren't igniting in space. Why not, Jim? Well, CC on YouTube says there's no air. Good God, we need to cancel the mission to Mars.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the USS Enterprise. Its continuing mission. Sorry. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3/22/25.
This is another Spaces fake video, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm a professional.
Yeah, right.
I can work with that. So let's do it.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
The whole point of that show
Is to entertain people. Star Trek isn't a documentary, so if you're about to use it to prove that space is fake, don't bother.
well, not the show. Forget about the show.
What show?
Forget about it. How can you continue the mission? How can you even start the mission when you can't get into space?
59 seconds, and I'm already confused. You said to forget about the show.
You can't go to space.
Ah, there he is, the CC that we all know and love. Why can't you go into space, Chris?
To research shit.
Well, I've got to agree with you on that. They don't go into space to research shit. Probably better off hanging around public toilets if you want to research that.
Bastard left the floater!
You can go to other lands. Yes. Yes, you can. Past the Arctic Wall. Yes, you can go there. But you can't get into space. Space doesn't exist.
So we can pop over and visit the wall. You know, the one that doesn't exist, but venturing beyond Earth's atmosphere into space is a no-go, even though we've done it multiple times. That's fascinating logic, Chris. Almost as baffling as pineapple on pizza.
And I'll tell you why.
No, don't tell us, we like to guess. Is it because you think it's fake?
Because rockets, if space did exist, would not work in space.
Well, silly me, I forgot that the fundamental laws of physics just stop applying once you leave the Earth. Newton should have consulted CC, obviously.
Now they say, oh, well, he must be some sort of scientist to understand how rockets work. Well, no.
I can pretty much guarantee that nobody thinks you are some sort of scientist, pal. And it's always amusing when you claim that you need specialized knowledge to understand your own lack of understanding. That's like saying you need to be a master illusionist to realize that a magic trick isn't actually magic. See, it's not magic, it's hidden in my hand.
You take a vacuum-sealed box and you try to light a match in it, and it has no air, the match won't ignite. You see, that's the problem with rockets, is they need ignition.
Oh yeah, rocket scientists are notoriously dim-witted and haven't considered the glaringly obvious problem of needing something to burn. I'm sure they'll scrap the whole space travel thing any day now, Chris. Well, now that you've enlightened them with this groundbreaking insight, I can just imagine the conversation at NASA. Bob, we've got a problem. These rockets aren't igniting in space. Why not, Jim? Well, CC on YouTube says there's no air. Good God, we need to cancel the mission to Mars.
Okay? There is no ignition in space. It's impossible. It's a vacuum. There's no air. You know what air is? That's what I'm breathing right now. That's what you're breathing watching this video.
You know, the sheer brilliance of that statement was truly breathtaking. Space has no air, and air is what I'm breathing now. But CC is absolutely right. I just tried to light a match in my very own vacuum-sealed jar of space. And you know what? Nothing happened. Clearly, this proves that the multi-billion-dollar space industry is just an elaborate hoax powered by what exactly? Wishful thinking and CGI? CGI.
Yeah, but there's no air in space. It's a vacuum. Okay? See, rockets don't work in space. But let's just say in this imaginary Walt Disney World, they actually do. Okay? Okay. So now you're propelling through space in a vacuum with a rocket that cannot ignite in a vacuum, but How do you control this rocket? Where is this rocket going to? Because we are traveling through space in the solar system at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. So once you leave Earth, just like in a helicopter, this is my secondary question, why can't I just go up in a helicopter and just stay up there and hover, and then just China revolves around, huh?
Well, CC is really hitting all the flat earth bingo squares today, isn't he? Well, Chris, in this imaginary Walt Disney World of space, rockets have got these magical things called thrusters and guidance systems. They allow the incredibly smart engineers, not flat earthers surprisingly, to precisely control the rocket's direction by firing small bursts of these non-igniting engines. And as for why a helicopter can't just hover and wait for China, well, that's a real head scratcher. If you completely ignore the concept of a rotating Earth and the atmosphere that the helicopter is still inside of, which moves with the Earth.
Because we don't really know where the spin begins.
What? That's like asking where the roundness of a ball begins. It's an inherent property of its shape. And similarly, the Earth's rotation is an inherent property of its formation and the conservation of angular momentum from the initial protoplanetary form. But I guess who needs astrophysics when you've got vague questions?
Right, but okay, back to the rockets. Okay, so when you leave space, when you leave Earth, okay, you are now in space. So you've broken out of the gravitational pull of Earth, okay, and now you're in space. You're in free fall right now, supposedly.
Broken out of the gravitational pull. This sounds so heroic when you say it. It's like escaping some sort of cosmic quicksand. And the dramatic pause before supposedly, the suspense is killing me.
Okay, so now you've got a rocket and you're going to go to Mars. Or maybe the moon, okay? Because that's only 260, 8,000 miles away. So let's push for that. So,
okay, so according to you, once we're in space, gravity just throws up its hands and says, "Oh well, they're gone. My work here is done." Well, then gravity is very polite and surprisingly localized.
You are going to propel this rocket into space with a mathematical computation here on Earth, an unmanned ship that has this math inside of it that's going to land on this dusty, rocky ball in space.
Well, in a word, Chris, yeah, because trusting meticulously calculated trajectories based on centuries of physics research is clearly way more ridiculous than believing in a giant ice wall at the edge of a flat disk.
If you think about this nonsense NASA has been giving you, if you put your mind to it and actually grasp the stupidity of this bullshit, okay, but yet maybe I should put a white coat on and give you bullshit, okay, then you'll believe me, right?
So mountains of peer-reviewed scientific evidence, the countless successful space missions, and the laws of physics are clearly less convincing than you would be in a white lab coat making wild, unsubstantiated claims. Okay?
That's how much nonsense the average person believes, that they can actually go to Mars.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
But you and other flat earthers only say that to dismiss anyone who doesn't subscribe to your demonstrably incorrect worldview. Because believing in well-documented scientific achievements is clearly a sign of low intelligence.
The moon, to Saturn, to Pluto, to all of this nonsense, and that gravity exists, that it actually, we know how it works. When scientists themselves have specifically said, we have no idea how gravity works.
Okay, that's fair, kind of, but we know a lot about how gravity behaves, don't we?
Oh! Baseball on the moon, just like golf, right? Neil Armstrong did that. Did he shoot off a golf ball? Where did that golf ball ever go? It must have went out. Oh, I know where it is. It's by the Tesla car, right? Yes, it's floating around out there. It might have landed on Mars.
No, Neil Armstrong did not play golf on the moon. It was Alan Shepard, an astronaut on the Apollo 14 mission, who famously hit a golf ball on the lunar surface. And as for where it went, does it really matter? I think you and other flat earthers have got a lot more pressing issues that need to be addressed.
If you believe in rockets that can propel themselves into space, if you believe anybody is ever going to land on anything ever again, you're delusional.
For once, Chris, you're right. I don't believe in rockets. But what I do is accept all the evidence that shows us, without any doubt, that rockets launch from Earth and travel into space. Belief doesn't come into it.
You will never, ever see that again.
What? This?
Engaging first throttle segment. And we've completed our pitch program. Engine operating parameters.
I get so pissed off.
Who, you? Well, I can't say I've ever noticed.
Could it be the two suns up there?
The what now?
See, once you become a flat earther, you realize that, I mean, everything is fake and it's all bullshit.
Yeah, but you don't, do you? You get told by other flat earthers that everything is bullshit and everything is fake. And when it comes to space specifically, you would have to think that, because the second somebody gets high enough above the Earth's surface, they can see just how incredibly stupid you all are.
You've got to deal with it, you know, and I do not recommend you flat smack anybody at all right now, in this time. Maybe 10 years ago, but right now I don't recommend it.
Flat smacking? I haven't heard anyone say that for a few years, Chris. Talk about a trip down memory lane. And I hate to burst your bubble, but ask Nathan Thompson how well that went. You know, the Nathan Thompson who used to harass school children while they were playing in the playground.
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's advisable, to be honest with you.
Me neither, but it didn't stop Nathan, did it?
Can't believe this could be the end.
Why is it that we have pictures, videos of the clouds behind the sun and in front of the sun?
Oh, I've explained this so many times, but some clouds are thin and translucent, allowing the sun's incredibly bright light to pass through them relatively unimpeded, and this can create the illusion of the sun being in front of the cloud, even if parts of the cloud are actually closer to the observer.
Why is it that we can zoom in on a boat miles and miles and miles away and bring it up right there on the screen?
Well, that's really easy to answer. It's because it hasn't gone over the horizon yet. Try staying zoomed in and waiting. The boat will definitely disappear, I promise you.
Because there is no curvature. Show us curvature. And they never will. We've been doing this for so long now. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars out there for somebody to prove to us that we live on this spinning wet ball in space.
Well, I had no idea there was actual money at stake. This is my PayPal link, Chris, if you happen to see this video and are in contact with whoever is holding the flat earth purse strings, because I just showed you curvature 2 different ways.
Show me the money.
I'll tell you, if you don't see this by now, you know, you're definitely paid. And unfortunately, I have to say, you're fighting for something that is just imaginary. You know, really, if Walt Disney was still alive, you should have worked for the play park over there. You would have been an excellent employee to continue the lie.
You talking to me, Chris? Ew. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you again next week. Love you. Bye.
It's
That's all, folks.
Oh, just quickly before you go, today's joke is more of a question, and I'm going to leave the answer to the question in the pinned comment. So, what competition can you only win by coming last? See you down in the comments.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever go.